Hello, wrestling fans, boxing fans, and everybody out there. How are you? It's ride time. Wrestling and boxing forever. Um, First, I'd like to start out by saying thank you for all the support. Whether you agree with what I'm saying or not, thank you for the support. Um, so let's get into it. We got some news from wrestling and boxing. So let's get into it. September 10th at the O2 Arena, Savannah Marshall and Carissa Shields, they will fight. I believe it's the middleweight championship for the women, and that will be an all women boxing pay-per-view. So congratulations to everybody involved. Also, Anthony Joshua and Alexander Uzik. Anthony Joshua, I went back and I watched the press conference. He seems a little unsure of himself going into the second fight. The first fight he tried to outbox Alexander Uzik, and that didn't work. So, to me, he should have just been a bully in there. Like, he should have been aggressive, used his size, his weight, all the advantages that he naturally has to his advantage. And I hope that his training camp had installed that in him, and told Anthony Joshua not to be afraid to use his size, his strength, and everything else. Now, on to professional wrestling. As we all know, Money in the Bank. Whatever. Let's get into it. There's nothing really from the Money in the Bank pay-per-view that grabbed me. I mean, Liv Morgan won the women's Money in the Bank, cashed it in on Ronda Rousey, she won the SmackDown Women's Championship. Austin Theory loses the United States Championship, but comes back to win the men's Money in the Bank. So, but the only thing that really did jump out at me, if anything, was the tag team title, the undisputed tag team champions, the Usos, and the Street Profits. Montez Ford, he showed up, he showed out. All of those guys bought it. It was a hell of a match. But other than that, that was the only thing from Money in the Bank that grabbed me, that really had my attention. Now, let's move on to the NWA. A lot happening. NWA 74, the 74th anniversary of the NWA. All the championships will be defended. All of them. Homicide, a very hard fighting champion. A man that puts his belt on the line against anybody and everybody. Okay? So, he came out on NWA Power and said, I would like to put my championship on the line against Kerry Morton. That's the son of Ricky Morton. But he's got to get past I believe it's VSK or something like that. I didn't catch his name, but he's a part of the Cardona family. He's got to get past them, and before he has that matchup with Kerry Morton, he's got to get past NWA USA and VSK. I believe that's his name. I'm not sure on his name, but Homicide has a title defense against one of the Cardonas on NWA USA. So, if he gets past the NWA USA, still carrying the belt, he gets past, maybe Kerry Morton does get that shot at the NWA Junior Heavyweight Championship. Maybe not. Who knows? But one thing's for sure, Homicide has put that championship on a pedestal. He's been a very hard-nosed champion. He's been defending his belt anywhere and everywhere, and he's been a champion's champion since winning the championship. So we'll see what happens. I wonder what happened to Darius Lockhart, because to me, he's one of the best promo guys, one of the best talkers in the NWA right now. I wonder what happened to him. And now let's talk about this championship tournament that's going to go down. It's called Race to the Chase. The winner of this tournament goes on to NWA 74 to challenge Trevor Murdoch for the NWA World's Heavyweight title. Some of the competitors that are in it: Elijah Burke, aka The Pole, he's in it. Brian Myers, let's see. Chris Adonis, Tom Latimer, they're in it as well. The National Treasure, Nick Aldis. And get this, folks, Tim Storm. The stipulation of him not being able to compete for the NWA World title, Billy Corgan has had that lifted. Who convinced Billy Corgan to lift that ban on Tim Storm? It was none other than current NWA World Champion Trevor Murdoch. So the new breed of NWA, they had 3 people that was helping to build the company. It was, as far as athletes, it was Nick Aldis, Tim Storm, and Joe Cephas. Nick Aldis and Tim Storm wrestled 3 times. The first time was Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. Tim Storm was able to get the win. Second time was Cage of Death. It was a Combat Zone wrestling event, and Tim Storm came in with some busted up ribs, and he wasn't 100% going into that matchup. The third time that they met was the very first episode of Power, Atlanta, Georgia, at PBG Studios in Atlanta. So, and Nick Aldis came away with the win. But this time, Tim Storm has to go through Nick Aldis to get back to his mountaintop. But even if he does get past Nick Aldis, he still has the Pope, Tom Latimer, Chris Adonis. He's got some players to get by. Some big time players to get by. Kudos to Trevor Murdoch for standing up for Tim Storm in that situation. Kudos to Homicide for being such a great NWA Junior Heavyweight Champion, a fighting champion, top to bottom, left to right. So, kudos to everybody involved. Homicide has a junior heavyweight title defense against VSK. I think it's VSK. But I didn't catch his name, but he's got a matchup on NWA USA where he's defending the junior heavyweight championship. So he's got to get past that NWA USA championship defense. He's got to get past it. But folks, it's a very entertaining time. It's a very entertaining time in wrestling and boxing, all alike. There's a lot of wrestlers getting injured, and oh, just in case I forgot to mention it, baby brother Charlo was elevated to end up WBA Super Champ for whatever reason. Sometimes it be that way. I love the sport of professional wrestling. I love the sport of boxing. Sitting through the pandemic, I had to find a way to entertain myself. And I love wrestling and boxing, so this is what my YouTube channel is based on. Thank you to all my supporters and everybody who supports the channel and supports me, and lots of love and respect to everybody. Keep working hard. Keep striving to be the best. Keep striving to be number one at what you're trying to be. And don't let anybody talk you down. Don't let nobody try to talk you out of it. Go out and be the best at whatever it is you're trying to be. Right time. Wrestling and boxing forever. Words of positivity. I am out.